What is up, guys? In this video we are going to be looking at the dreaded P0420 code, which indicates that the catalyst system or the catalytic converter on your car is running below its efficiency threshold, which is a very fancy way of saying basically your catalytic converter isn't behaving as it's expected based on the data that's being read by the oxygen sensors up and downstream of your actual catalytic converter. And this is a fault that is currently pending, so it is about to be hard logged, and unfortunately that means that this car is not going to be able to pass smog. So in the great state of California, you got to get this thing fixed, and in any state, I think a lot of states also require you basically have no engine air codes to actually pass the smog test. So what we're going to be doing to actually test if it's the catalytic converter is you're going to need to have a more high-end diagnostic tool, one that can actually view the live data. So this one was about $35 on Amazon, and we can look at the live data, and the two error codes, or the two values that we really care about here, are the voltages for the OS or O2S11 and O2S12, the O2 sensors 11 and 12. The 11 is the upstream O2 sensor, and then the 12 is the downstream sensor. And just trying to get here, 1 second. So yeah, so as you can see right now, we've got the downstream O2 sensor, which is around 0.4 volts. We've got the upstream sensor, which is at around 2.7 volts. And we don't really care about what these values currently are, because what you need to do is make sure your car's in neutral if you're in a manual or automatic transmission, and then we're basically going to raise the RPM up to about 2,000 to 2,500 RPM. And so what we're doing is we want to make sure that the downstream O2 sensor, the O2S12 value, is relatively constant around 0.5 volts, and it should not be fluctuating too much. And based on this data right now, it is fluctuating between 0.9 and 0.6 volts, but it does appear to be relatively constant. I've dropped down to 0.4. Okay, so basically it is spiky, it is volatile. Unfortunately we don't have a plot to really look at, but if you were plotting this, you would see it not being very smooth, because like you just see those sudden drops down to 0.5, even though holding the RPMs relatively constant. So what this is telling us is, based on the downstream O2 sensor voltage, based on the live data from our OBD2 scanner, this catalytic converter is not operating as well as it should be. And what I'm going to do, because I don't want to spend thousands of bucks on a new catalytic converter, because this car isn't even worth that, is going to be using some lacquer thinner and then mixing that into the gas tank, and then I'm going to siphon off some gas just to get the original gas volume down, because we want to make sure we've got a concentrated solution. I'm going to stop revving the engine right now. Basically, yeah, we're going to take the gas out, and then we're going to turn that off. Then we're going to basically run the lacquer thinner through the gas tank when you've got about half a tank left, which I guess on most cars is probably about 5 or 6 gallons or 7 gallons. So you just want to make sure you've got a nice concentrated solution with half a tank of fuel and then 1 full gallon of lacquer thinner. You're going to run it, you're going to drive the car around, and then hopefully, now that we've checked our values and we've got a baseline of the data, we'll be able to see an improvement in the voltages that are coming off of the downstream, the O2S12 value. And that'll be how we hopefully resolve this issue on the cheap, because buying catalytic converters is very expensive. Alternatively, what it could be is maybe a malfunctioning O2 sensor, but unfortunately it's probably not usually the case, but always nice to just check the cheap stuff first. The other thing that I know a lot of people talk about is leaks in the intake. So checking your intake vacuum hoses and manifolds and all that stuff, make sure all those things are tight. Can also be another cause of the P0420 error, or sometimes it's called a P0430. But basically, yeah, that is going to wrap this up for this video in terms of diagnosing potentially a faulty catalytic converter, how to troubleshoot it, and then what to look for in the live data. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.